everybody. I am live with my good friend. I think I can call you my good friend now, John, and
I think so.
fellow teacher battle buddy, as we like to say.
Yeah.
Because he's a carnivore teacher and he was a teacher for years. He's now on permanent summer vacation. We call that retirement. This is my first official day of summer vacation because,
Yay.
it's a Monday, right? And I didn't have to go teach today.
Right.
So
Great feeling.
I know, but we're going to talk about Hack Your Health, which was super awesome. But before that, one of my students, I have to show this bracelet because if anyone watches my channel, they know. I think David's on here. David, you know what my favorite meat is? So one of my students made me this bracelet. It says picanha lover, which was amazing.
And we just had that tonight.
I'm so jealous. You know what? I had ribeye, and ribeye is delicious. And when John told me he had picanha, I was still jealous.
It was phenomenal. It's so good.
Yeah, you guys, if you have not tried picanha, give it a go
and learn how to make it. You can mess it up, so you have to. It's a slow cooking. You don't want to do it fast.
Yes, it's a slow cooking thing, but it's easy. Like once you know, it is easy, and once you do it properly, it's really hard to mess up, and it's delicious every time.
Not to be mad. It's equal to or better than a ribeye flavor.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure, and a lot cheaper. Like
and
at
cheaper,
least
and you
price.
get a lot of meat out of the thing.
Yeah, you do.
Leftovers, yeah.
So we have several people in here. David said he was here. We got to meet him. He's here in the front row. He was even here early, so that's cool. Hi, David. We have Josephine saying hello. Hi, Josephine. Nice to see you. And look who's here. Lindy's here.
Oh, Lindy. Okay.
Did you get to meet Lindy at Hack Your Health?
Did I meet you, Lindy?
She came in on Sunday.
I may have met her. I don't remember.
She's amazing. I love her story. So hi, Lindy.
Hi, Josephine.
So Hack Your Health, I kind of say that it was like, they had like kind of three main things going on, I feel. So they had like speakers, they had like the main stage and then some breakout rooms, and they had stuff going on almost the whole day. Like you really had to pick and choose.
You couldn't do it all.
You couldn't do it all. Oh no,
Absolutely
you couldn't.
Not. You had to plan it or haphazardly fall into something.
Which is kind of what I did. Like they had an app and I was like, what's going on in the next hour? And then I'd go and then I'd, pick one. Or I'd let my mom pick one. My mom came with. My mom is meat-based keto, for those of you that don't know. So she eats meat-based and she's doing great. She really enjoyed meeting everybody, all my YouTube friends too. Yeah. And sometimes I let her choose the session, but she was mostly just like, I'm just here following you around, and
cool.
So you just kind of pick that. And then sometimes I would plan to go to a session, but then I would just sort of get like talking to people, which I think was my favorite part. Every way you would turn, somebody new would be like, Cristie.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
It was. My mouth was in a permanent smile. I couldn't.
Yes. It was just, and I'm not like I knew. I mean, I wanted to go because actually, Lindy, believe it or not, was the one because she was going to go, and she came all the way from Australia. So I had been like, I was like on the fence, right? I was like,
she come from Australia. You could go from California.
That's right, John. So when I found out Lindy was coming from Australia and I would have the chance to meet her in person, I was like, all right, I'm doing it. So I bought my ticket, and it was all because Lindy was going to go, and I knew I would enjoy it, and I was excited to meet her. But and even though as the time went by, like it seemed far away, right? And I would hear more and more people, oh, I'm going to go. And I sort of knew who was going to go.
Right.
But still, it was like every few minutes, somebody was there that I knew from online, like in real life. Yes.
That was the part. The part of meeting the people that you only saw online. You get to meet them. Like I met you, you met me, and other people online. We get to meet them in person. And then people who followed me, they probably followed you too for Meeting Wellness, and they introduced themselves to us and shook my hand and wanted to get a picture. I'm like, oh, this is just so cool. I get to meet the people that like my videos or made a comment. And that was, I think, the best part. I mean, the vendors were cool.
Yep.
The breakout rooms were cool. The lectures were cool, but I like meeting, believe it. And I'm an introvert. Believe it or not.
Me too.
But I don't know, because when I got back to the hotel room at night, I felt it. I was like, oh my God, I'm
Yes.
exhausted.
Yes.
It drained me. But, you know, you and I being introverts and being teachers, we know how to turn it on.
Yep.
And then we give our all, we give from our heart. And then, you know, when it's over, we feel it. We're like, we're drained. Whereas
Yeah.
extroverts, those people fed you and you're energized for more, like another party at midnight, which I could never go to.
No. And there was one night, I think it was the second night, like the Saturday night, we came home from that dinner, which we'll talk about. And like my mom was still like, they had this puzzle going. We stayed at my mom's cousin's house and they had this puzzle going. And so they started on the puzzle. I didn't say anything. I just went right to my room. Like I had my own little room and I was like, I didn't even say goodnight. Like it wasn't to be rude. I was just like,
your
I'm
feet
done.
hurt. It's just, we were on our feet the whole time. Yeah,
I'm done. My ankles actually, they haven't swollen. Like they used to swell every single day before carnivore and they haven't done that. But on that trip, they did. And I don't know if it was, you know, some suspect, you know, I ate out like every meal or every dinner.
Seed oil can sneak in there if you're not really, really careful, you know?
Yeah. So my ankles did swell and it was like, I just need to lay down. I was just, done. But no one I think would know, like even Brett, who's your carnivore, was like, yeah, Cristie, you're not shy. And I'm like, John is more right. Like we know how to turn it on.
We know how to turn it on and off. Yeah.
Yes. I was excited. But I certainly am an introvert and was happy to get back to my little room in my mom's cousin's house and have my personal time.
I think this is why you and we get each other.
Yeah,
we're teachers, and now I found out you're like me. You're an introvert. And
so I know
it kind of click a little bit there,
just a little bit. So, and then other people were organizing meetups. So this wasn't organized by Hack Your Health, but there were so many meetups that went on.
Like the one we went to. Yeah.
Like the one we went to. So we can start with that one. So it was on Saturday, I believe, right?
Saturday night at Korean
Gangnam Korean barbecue, which I had never been to a Korean barbecue. Had you ever been to one before?
I was in a restaurant that had like a Korean section where you could bring the meats up and they cooked it in front of you. But I had never been to one like this where you cook your own on your own table.
Yeah. Well,
nice.
It was cool because you basically just pay one price and they have different tiers.
The tiers. You had choice of the lower price that we did the mid-tier, and then you had the higher price. You got more variety of meats. We could have done the salad bar, which I wish we went over to, because on my way to the bathroom, I saw the smoked salmon and I saw the cheeses. Like there's some stuff on there we could have gotten.
Yeah. And I don't eat a lot of cheese, but when I'm out, like when I went to a Brazilian steakhouse the first night I was there just with my family. It was like a family thing. And I ate like from the cheese from that because they have some good cheese at that Brazilian steakhouse.
But you chose, and we oh my gosh, I tried meats I had never tried before. I don't know if you tried the intestine. I didn't. Somebody, I guess that was next to me, but you were further down.
I was further down.
But
I'm sorry we didn't sit closer.
But we demanded butter, big slabs of butter, because if you didn't say butter, you know, there's this little hot plate in front of 1, 2, 3, 4 hot plate. Then the next 4 people down the table and a hot plate, and it's built into the table. For those of you who don't know what it is, they turn it on, it heats up, and normally, I guess they give you a pitcher of vegetable oil. Something to pour on the grill, right?
Yeah, no.
And immediately I'm like, must have butter, real hard, solid dairy butter, not a blend. And they gave us all the butter they could. I think they ran out.
They did. We had to ration it. They had no idea how much butter.
I asked for more and they said, no more butter, like no more soup for you.
and we had a G from Hanging with the Browns on my end of the table. And she was like, I mean, for lack of a better word, like kind of arguing.
I was arguing on our end of the table.
I heard
you would give us more of the vegetable oil, but not more of the butter. I'm paying.
She's like, we don't eat your nasty oil, because we
got right to the end with just a sliver of butter left because we had used up so much butter.
We used all their butter. So Lindy said that they went there on my recommendation and that it was really good. Lindy, did they have any, like, I hope they went and got some more butter between when we were there and when your group went there.
Does Lindy's from Australia, though, right?
Yeah, she's from Australia, but she was in Austin, and she asked, so I guess
night than we went.
A different night, yeah. Okay. She asked like where we'd eaten, and I sent her the address.
All right.
Because I said it was really good. What was your favorite meat at the Korean barbecue?
Oh gosh, what was it? It was, and I can't remember. It was not the ribeye.
Not the ribeye.
It
Mine
was
either.
what was yours? I can't remember.
The beef belly.
I think it was the beef. I tried the
Oh my
pork belly,
gosh. The
but
pork belly was good too.
beef belly was better.
The
It was
beef
the
belly
beef
was
belly,
better.
which is like you think of bacon. That's where pork belly basically is, but this is the beef bacon, like from the belly of. Oh my Lord! It melted in your mouth.
Oh, it was so good. And what they do is they bring the meat, except for the ribeyes. The ribeyes are like regular steaks, kind of thin, but not super thin. Just, a regular steak. It takes a little longer. Most of the meat, it's very thinly sliced, and they kind of roll them up, and they just bring you these pyramids of this meat. And yes, there's people ask, like, isn't that marinated? And I'm like, yeah, there were marinated options, but there was tons of just not unmarinated,
we got all the
non-seasoned. Yeah. And you could just.
Right now, Larry's son was there next to me, and he got some stuff that was marinated, right? So we're all on the same grill, and I'm keeping my meat separate. Everybody's putting their meat in there, and I must have grabbed a little piece of his marinated meat, and I put it in my mouth when I was eating, and it was like candy. I like, whoa! I know I grabbed a piece of his. You can taste the sugar.
Yes. You know where that happened to me, John? That did not happen at the Korean barbecue because we pretty much didn't have any marinated meats on our little, it was all just carnivores right there. But when I went the night before, I went to a different meetup, and it was, I forget the name of it, but it was like a Texas barbecue. And I didn't do enough investigation. I just got like a platter with 3 meats on it. And it was like a fatty brisket and a sausage, some kind of like cheddar, like jalapeno sausage that just sounded good. I figured it probably had some stuff in there, but I'm like, whatever, I'm doing it. It sounded delicious, and it was delicious. But then there was like some like beef, I don't know, some shaved beef stuff. And that had a sauce on it that was sweet. I took one bite and went, nope, that's not for me. And I didn't finish it. So
but I bet it was amazing. My brain lit up. I was like, it was like candy.
I was like, nope. Maybe if I would have taken a second bite, which I didn't do, but it was off-putting because I wasn't expecting it. And then I was bummed because I'm like, this place is not all you can eat. Like I have what I have.
That one wasn't. Okay,
no, it wasn't. And so they had some deviled eggs there actually for an appetizer. So I got those.
All right, that sounds good. How was the middle made though? What kind of mayonnaise?
Yes, there was probably mayonnaise in there with the seed oils, which is probably why my ankles got swollen up because that was the second night in Austin. But it was like they were called like Mexican deviled eggs or something, and it was like bacon and but yes, probably the mayonnaise was I'm 100% sure.
I'm a pain in the neck in a restaurant. They hate me. I'm like, it's my money. It's going in my body, and I'm respectful about it, but I talk. I must have my food my way, or I'm not going to put it in my mouth as best I can. So I was looking at where was it? Darth Carnivore. He said I'd never thought of a Korean barbecue as a dining out option for carnivore.
Yeah,
I remember meeting him there too. It is. I didn't think so either, but you absolutely can. You just have to say I must have only butter, and then you pick the meats that are not marinated.
Not marinated, and they just bring all you can eat. You just have to be careful because I guess they charge you money like for each pound you don't eat. So like if you keep asking for meat and then you don't eat it, they charge extra for like food waste. Oh, we ate everything. Yeah. We ate it all.
They kept coming around. Do you want more? Yes, bring more. You want more? Yes, bring more.
Yes, bring more.
We said we're done.
Yeah, but we polish it off so we didn't have to pay that that fee. And I think our tier was like $49.99 a person.
Right.
For the tier we did, and there was like $10 cheaper, but you had fewer options, and then $10 more.
And then we just got water or whatever to drink, and it included the salad bar. It included an appetizer, but there's none of the apps I could have eaten. So you got a lot for your money, I think, because you're eating healthily for your body, and it's a treat. And boy, part of the experience was the camaraderie with the fellow carnivores sitting around.
Oh yeah,
you weren't just eating with friends. That everybody ate all different things. We all ate the same thing.
And there wasn't any. We all pulled out our personal like Redmond salt, or there was a salt. People had like a salt. There was a salt company at Hack Your Health, so people had like samples from them. But we all had our own salt.
I don't think they saw us coming.
No, I don't think so either. They were like, "Why do you need butter? Korean style, we don't use butter." And we're like, yeah, well, we don't use oil. And they were a little like unsure about our group, I feel.
Yeah,
but
maybe they'll buy more for this event.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to present my screen, and these pictures are, you guys, I didn't put them in order. But I'm going to show some pictures that from the weekend, that I took. I think this guy is in the chat right now.
There
so
he
this is David.
He's in the chat. He was right across from me in the Korean barbecue.
I know. I miss sitting on your end of the table
I didn't
with
get
you
to talk
guys.
to people on the other side.
Yeah, it was a long table.
It was.
And then look, who's that lady? Dr. Boz, you guys. Dr. Boz, and she's coming on Lioness Lifestyle October 1st.
Okay.
Because I got to meet her in person. I wasn't going to ask her, but then I did tell her I had a small YouTube channel. And then she was like, oh, well, if you need any shout outs for your channel, let me know. And I was like, well, there's an opening.
Yeah.
If I ever heard one.
Well, you come on, and she's coming on. That's great.
Yeah. And she's coming on.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so is Dr. Kiltz, by the way, on Lioness Lifestyle as well.
Mr.
So, there's Dr. Ovadia. You guys, I stink at selfies. Do not laugh. I have no selfie game. It's bad. I'm Gen X.
That's cut off there, Cristie. No.
I know. I have no, and I was trying to hurry because these doctors.
You don't want to take up all their time.
Oh, wait till you see Dr. Baker. Except I didn't take it. Whoever took the picture cut his head off. I'm like, that's Dr. Baker. You could tell by the body. That's Courtney Luna. So she did a cooking demo. Did you get to see that one?
I did not see the cooking demo. And I think I walked by several of them, but I didn't see them.
So she did carnivore, what's it called? Biscuits and gravy. And then they gave out samples, but I had to go get my DEXA scan. So I saw
your results back. Let's talk about that too. All right.
Oh yeah. I still haven't looked into it.
But you didn't look yet? Okay.
So I looked at them, but it's confusing. My mom was smart. My mom went over there and said, tell me. So they went over her results with her, and I did not do that. And there's a lot of numbers.
There's a lot.
I do want to go find my visceral fat. I did not see that. We'll talk about it. But anyway. Yeah, it's in there.
Hey.
There's Dr. Chafee.
Did you get Ellie?
She was standing there, but no, she did not hop in the picture.
Yeah, I wish I could share my screen. I can't get it to share.
Yeah,
I wonder if I can drag him into a. Oh boy, did they really cut
off his head?
How do you take a picture and cut off the whole head?
Yeah, somebody took that for me. I don't even remember who it was.
Yes, he is tall, but
he's tall, but good grief.
Well, you
can tell by his arms, right? Come on.
His arms and that smile. That's
yes.
That's Dr. Baker.
There's Russ, Homesick Buckeye.
Yeah.
So we filmed a quick video for his channel.
He sings really well. Have you heard him sing?
He does sing. Yes, he does sing. Speaking of singing, we have some news about that.
Yes, we do.
Lindy knows this guy. This is Todd. Super excited to meet Todd. Carnivore Cure. If you haven't checked out his channel, he's awesome.
Lost a ton of weight. He was at our dinner the next night when you had to fly back.
I had to fly home and I missed that dinner.
There's a better picture of him.
Because this is on stage during his talk on the very last day. He was the very last session on the very last day.
Okay.
So I'm like, well, I didn't get his head with me, but there he is. Okay, this is Jenny Middich, and she is coming on Lioness Lifestyle tomorrow.
Good.
If you don't know her, she has an awesome channel, and she's very data oriented. So for me as a math teacher, I sort of geek out on all the numbers, and she does all of that stuff with the glucose monitors and the ketones, and she'll check that stuff, and she has DEXA scans and she talks about it. So she's fantastic. She'll be on tomorrow with us Lionesses. Oh, that's my mom and her cousin Sandy, and there they are doing the puzzle that I was talking about. That's
how far away was the house? Did you drive over? Did you Uber
we drove. So Sandy let us borrow her vehicle.
Well, you guys got to stay with somebody and you got a vehicle.
And a free vehicle. Nice. Yeah, she filled it up for us. Of course, we filled it up before we returned it. Good, good nice. Family should. But yeah, there they are doing the puzzle, and
All right.
I went to bed. Lindy, there she is.
That's Lindy. Hi,
Lindy. I kept asking about her all weekend. I kept asking Coach Emily, when is Lindy coming? She'll be here Sunday. So I was watching the door like a hawk. Because if I missed Lindy, she was the whole reason I went. So
wow.
I was gonna be sad. This is NOLA Carnivore, Daryl. He caught me. We were leaving. This was Sunday. We had exited the building. And I hear behind me this, Cristie. And I turn around. I'm like, Daryl. So we hadn't seen each other. And believe it or not, John, did this happen to you? There were people that were looking for me and I was looking for them, and we never did cross paths the whole weekend.
I'm trying to remember. There was just so many people, people.
Yeah.
I think the people I wanted to meet that I knew were going, I saw.
Yes.
I almost didn't see Nia. I didn't see her almost the whole first day. And then she said she was there, but then I saw her, I think, the second day.
Yeah. But so I was happy to see him. There was like a couple, like Laura, who was just on Lioness, she was like looking for me. She's like, I purposely looked for you and I did not see you the whole time.
Well,
there's Nia.
You could have been on the other side, weaving around. It's easy to miss each other. It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So there's Nia. I saw her on the first day. Did you stop by? This is Brisket. This is Greg, the RV carnivore with his RV.
Cool. I went. He same smile. He photobombs my pictures.
Did he?
And I went through his RV. I would love to live in that RV. It's nicer than my house.
It's so nice in there, you guys. Cool. And anyone can just go in and like check it out. And you can't see the whole thing, but it's basically labeled off, you know, with all the cuts of beef. So you can see the chuck, the brisket, the loin. Yeah, it's really cool. There's Bella, steak and butter gal. Lauren Knight, I was super excited to grab her and get a picture. Okay, so my mom's cousin left this tea towel for me on my bed, like as a gift.
Cool.
There's no such thing as too much butter.
And that's true.
And that is absolutely true. I should have brought that to the restaurant and showed it to them.
Yeah, that's the Julia Child model.
That's right. That's right. That's Emma, Carrie Mann's Homestead House.
I thought
daughter.
I recognized her. Yeah.
Yes. I said, you don't know me, but I feel like I know you. Can I get a picture with you? And she
had two daughters. Didn't he have two daughters with him there?
He did. He did. Katie was there too.
Okay. That's
my mom and I with the butter that we got at the Korean barbecue. She's like, let me hold up this butter. So that was fun. Oh, this was one of the panels. So as you can see, like there's 3 of the doctors and then 3 of the steak and butter gang, you know, with Bella and 2 of her coaches. I mean, it's just fabulous. And they just took questions and yeah, it was really good. That was across the table from me. And there's the meat. You can see the meat from the Korean barbecue there. Piled up. And that was like half the pile. We had cooked half of it by then. But that's Nia on the right. And then Robin, Carnivorous Grandma, and then G. So that's who I was sitting across from. Just happened to see Dr. Berg talking to Dr. Baker and just like snapped a picture. They probably don't even know that was taken. Dr. Berg's talk. Did you go to that? Because that was fantastic.
I did. I went to the talk. He talked about, it was like a 2-topic talk. The second half was about starch, sugar, and seed oil in ultra-processed food. He handed everybody a pamphlet. I made a whole video about the entire pamphlet.
Yeah, and I still need to go and watch that video. I think that pamphlet, I'm really bad at unpacking suitcases. Like it's still in a corner in my room.
It really was. Yeah.
But I have that pamphlet, and I definitely want to like take a look at it. I think it's a really cool initiative that he's got going. And the first half of that talk was about dry fasting, which was fascinating. Like I didn't know anything about dry fasting. It just sounded crazy to me. But I'm like,
I didn't know that much either. And I thought it sounds dangerous. I drink water, but the way he described it and explained it, it's something you can now do because then your body utilizes that water. It takes what it needs.
Yep. It takes what it needs from the fat. So you actually burn fat faster.
Right.
Saturated fat is saturated with hydrogen. So your body will break down the fat and take the hydrogen from it. And then the oxygen, I think that you're breathing in and make its own water. Like your body will make its own water. Cool. Like, I'm like, what? Yeah, it was very like, I mean, and
he talked about if you're going to do it, you ease into it. You don't just drink water. You very gradually ease
like
into
start with the 12-hour one and, and go on. But and that the refeed is the most important.
Very important. So you were sitting there too. I don't know if I was sitting near you, but we watched the whole thing.
You were sitting near me. This was so cool, you guys. So I think Dr. Berg's talk was like on the last day. And it really made my day, John, because we were reading each other's minds, I feel, because I was like, I saw John, but I haven't like hung out with them at all. And this is making me sad. Like I was having that thought. And the next thing I know, I get this email or text or something from you that says, We haven't hung out at all. I'm going to be there at this time. Like, text me when you get there. Let's hang out. And
then we got each other's phone number. Because that's another thing with you, with Larry and a few other people. We all agreed to meet there and make sure we meet each other. But we never really had, I don't know about you, but I didn't have everybody's phone numbers. So we just had these emails. That was the only way. I couldn't text them. And so then we exchanged phone numbers. So now we can have more accurate,
Yes. Text. It was great. And I appreciated that because it's funny just because I had been thinking that, like, I really haven't talked to John as much as I wanted to.
I'm glad we did. We spent more of the last day together.
Yeah. Did you go to the Healing Humanity preview?
I did not. I wish I did. I'm glad I went to the dinner that last night, but I didn't go to the preview.
So the dinner is what I missed, but they did like a preview and there was a special message from Bill Knott in there. And it was really, really good, of the Healing Humanity documentary. I showed that one already. Oh, so this is funny because I was at the airport. This is me at the airport, getting ready to leave. And I was just walking. I was actually looking for a Starbucks because I do drink coffee and I have a bunch of gift cards. Like, that's what all my students give me. So I just have like Starbucks gift cards.
You want to see my drawer? You want to see my stash of Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks? And I told the kids the last couple of years, I said, you guys, you don't have to get me any gifts, but if you do, I don't drink coffee. I quit coffee. No more coffee. Gift cards. And they didn't listen.
Do it anyway.
I keep getting I have hundreds of dollars worth of coffee.
Yeah. So I actually finally put them all on my phone. So I have all these Starbucks, all on my app, right? So I had it and I was like, I'm going to go just because I had like 2 hours to kill. And all of a sudden I hear, Cristie. And it's Brett, who's your carnivore. And so he walked with me over there. I got coffee. He got some sparkling waters and we sat down and he pulls out his meat sticks and shared his meat sticks with me.
Oh, all right. That's what
we sat and chat. It was pretty cool. It was cool to get to know him better. He had a flight within 15 minutes of mine, but then his got postponed for 3 hours.
When I left on Monday, the airport was it's like Japan at Russia. I had never seen, I waited in the longest line, then another long line.
Wow.
I'm glad I got there 2 hours early because we got on the plane pretty much. I mean, and they said, because that's Monday morning. I left Monday morning and Monday morning was insanity.
I'm glad I didn't do that then. Cause that's what I would have done. But I was like, I just need a day. I need that buffer day. Like I said, I'm an introvert and I had to teach. And I was like, I need a full buffer day. So I got home late Sunday night. And then I just recuperate on Monday and then ready to go back and teach on Tuesday. Gotcha. So that's what I did.
Yep.
So this is myself and my mom and then Sandy, and that's Sandy's husband. And that's the remains of after the Brazilian steakhouse.
All right.
we had eaten. You can't see the food because it's all in our bellies. That was good. It was called Estancia. And I think it's just local to Austin. I don't think it's a chain. It was really good though. They had really good picanha, really good, good. Yeah. Oh, you know that you want to talk about this picture since you don't get to share your pictures, but I'm
going to try to share one because I put a picture in a tab.
Okay.
And instead I could share a tab, but I'll try that.
Cool.
So yeah, this was right after our Korean barbecue. It was on the way out. It was kind of hot in there.
It was hot. Yeah.
We had a person walk by and say, take our picture. First, this one, I think, Larry's son took the picture because he's not.
Yeah, he did.
There's a picture with Larry's son in there, and that's all of us.
Yep.
At the Korean barbecue, which was cool. We got to get our pictures taken.
Yep, it was cool.
As a group, we had it was just such a fun time. And that's an excellent picture to show.
It's actually a video.
How they bring the meat. Oh, it's a video. Play it.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I'm going to mute it though, because that's loud. It's just the background of the restaurant. But just so you can see, those are the ribeyes. That's what it looks like.
Put the butter on that grill. They also had shrimp. Yeah, you could ask for shrimp.
I don't like shrimp.
Oh,
not my thing. But that's the beef belly right there. Probably some pork belly mixed in. You just cook it. Oh my gosh, it was so good, you guys. Highly recommend. The first thing I did, one of the first things I did when I got home is to see where there's a Korean barbecue near me, and it's not close. I have to drive an hour.
Oh wow.
But I'm gonna do it because it'd be worth it.
Special occasion,
for a special occasion. Yeah.
Who's
That's me on the plane. That's me on the plane doing a selfie, getting ready to just sitting there waiting to take off.
Yeah.
On the way home. That's me with Carrie.
Yep.
Dr. Kiltz.
Dr. Kiltz.
Yes. Dr. Boz at her talk was really good too about uric acid. That was fabulous. I need to go back. I guess Larry said we have access to all of them.
We do somehow. I don't
Yeah,
know
I
if
don't know
I don't
how.
know if it's available yet, but I haven't checked into
Oh,
that
okay.
either.
Yeah, I got to figure out how to go because I want to watch her talk again.
Yeah.
It was very good. Oh, that's Lynn, Midlife Carnivore. I saw her and I was like, Lynn on Sunday too.
Right.
She came in on Sunday. She's on part of the Healing Humanity crew.
Okay.
And there's Dr.
I
Nelson.
remember him. He's a nice guy. He ate
Yeah,
with
he's
us.
a very nice guy. And so that is it. And I
want to try
was
to
talking to
share.
John before we came online. That was a lot. Ellie, there's Ellie. Ellie, are you proud of me? Did you see all those pictures? Ellie was like, you need to take pictures. And I tried to tell her, like, when I was growing up, you might get 2 pictures the whole year. Like, it was real film. That stuff was expensive to buy the film, to develop the film. You know, you might have 24 pictures that spanned like 6 months, right? And Ellie was like, take pictures. So there you go, Ellie.
Well, here's a window. I can share the window. No, it's not letting me do that. Oh, I wish I could do this. I didn't prepare for this.
I'm sorry. I should have told you sooner. I thought of it last minute.
Well,
I
I'm
was
not
like,
used
oh,
to using StreamYard, so I would if this was Microsoft Teams, that's the stuff we
right.
use during lockdown. I'm like a master at that, but
You would be
I'll
on
show it
it.
another time. I have a picture of you and I. I have a picture of a whole bunch of. I have different pictures than you have, so it'd be kind of fun to show it, but I can't get to it.
I know. We'll have to
Yeah.
do that another time. Dragon Girl says that Korean barbecue looks delicious. It
What?
was delicious. It
Wasn't-
was. So I have to say, my experience at both the Brazilian steakhouse and the Korean barbecue, I finally did what Dr. Chafee is always saying, which is eat meat till it doesn't taste good anymore. I've never done that. Like this whole time being carnivore, I have never done that because I can eat like 1.25 pounds of ribeye.
And you still could eat more.
And the ribeye's gone, but like it didn't stop tasting good, you know.
Well, what I've learned is, all right, I eat slower because I eat like a Rottweiler.
You know what? That's teacher training because our lunches are short and we have to wolf
hurry,
it down.
hurry, and then go to the bathroom and get your mailbox.
Because that bell's gonna ring and make your copies and get back to class. Yep. That's
right,
why.
so I learned to slow down and take a break, and then it takes longer for your leptin signals to reach your brain. So you walk away for a while, whatever, you come back, and then maybe you don't want to finish it, or maybe you just eat a little bit more, and then you start getting that feeling. It actually happens. But when we're sitting at a restaurant, it takes longer. And when more meat is coming, that time sequence is so it's the time, I think.
Yes.
Not just the amount.
Interesting.
So that's, I was also, I had to stop the dinner that you didn't go to, that I got to go to with Carrie Mann for the fundraiser. I had to turn my card over. I wanted to eat more because there were ribs coming out with the bone. I'm like, I didn't get that yet. I literally cannot put another piece of food in my mouth or I'll vomit. I had almost a nausea feeling, and that's absolutely leptin. You know?
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if I felt like vomiting, but I definitely was like, okay, this just literally does not taste like it literally did not taste good. I'm like, okay, Dr. Chafee is not wrong. This is the first time that I've like experienced this. And I think you're right. They do bring out, and especially the Korean barbecue, it really took a while to get it rolling. You'd get like 3 bites of food and then you'd have to wait.
And there's wait time. You wait. And then during that time, you get to that leptin signal a little sooner, I think. Yeah.
So Charlie wants to know if there were any carnivore eating contests.
Carnivore eating what? Contest. No, God.
No, but we definitely hit all of the all-you-can-eat type of places, and I'm sure we made them sorry that they offer that option.
I went across the street to Terry Black's.
Oh, Terry Black's, yeah,
twice.
Barbecue place.
I did that on Friday. I did it on Saturday for lunch, and I got brisket, fatty, moist, medium rare brisket, and they just, oh my Lord. I've never been so satisfied. And I didn't go the night because I was so full. And then when we went to the Korean barbecue, I'm like, I'm not as hungry as I should because I had that lunch. So the next night I fasted.
Yes. So what I had done is I didn't eat lunch. I didn't have a fasting window really because my mom, Sandy, cooked us breakfast. So I had like eggs and bacon for breakfast each day, but that was like at 7 a.m.
That's early. Yeah.
Yeah. So then by dinner, I was like good to go. But I don't do well fasting, like just literally not eating anything. Like I think I would have been miserable at the conference, not eating something in the morning. So it actually worked out pretty well and left me, hungry enough for dinner, but not.
Good, because you had enough time in between. Miserable. I did mine was lunch. Mine was 11, 12 o'clock. the
Yeah,
dinner.
see,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been ready to eat again. Like, that would have been, because if I would have been at the barbecue place, I would have filled up on brisket, and then I wouldn't have been.
I still ate, but I may have stopped sooner than other people because I had lunch that day, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I missed out on Terry Black's. Like, that's a thing. It's like
Oh, gotta try
famous,
next
and
time. Yeah, it's so good. It was so
it's
good.
not gonna be in
Not cheap.
Austin next time. Like,
No,
why?
I'm excited because it's in my state and
I
I can
it
drive my car and not have to pay for the plane.
Yes.
A little cheaper.
I have to fly further, John, and it's in
Yeah, you do.
September. Like,
And
I'm
it's
gonna try to do
you
it, but
can't.
I'm already feeling guilty, and it's not till September of 2025. I'm already feeling guilty because I'm gonna have to leave my class
Not
for,
just
like,
take those kids and leave that class, but you want that recuperation day, which you feel
right. Oh,
guilty
yeah.
taking because it's another
Yeah.
day.
It's
Yeah,
another day, and it's the beginning of the school year. This was the very
yeah,
end of the
I
school
get it.
year.
I
It
heard
was
you explaining
over.
this to people and they,
Yeah, they
it's like,
didn't
you
get
don't
it.
have
They
to
were like,
explain. Yeah.
they didn't get it. You could
A
tell they
lot of
didn't get it.
a lot of people know me and they're like, "Well, come to this, come to that, do this, do that." I'm like, "I can't. Spring
Mhm.
break, summer,
Mhm.
Christmas
Mhm.
vacation. I can take
Mhm.
time. I can't." And I try not to take any of my sick days or personal days if possible, except for when I needed them for mental health, which was like 1 or 2 a year. And
Yeah.
then when I retired, I got a lot of it back in a check. And a lot of
Yes.
people, I encourage all the teachers that retirements coming up, try not to use too many of your days because, and I don't know how it is in California and in your district or county, but a lot of places you get that back if you the unused.
Yeah, absolutely. Charlie, I heard you talking about this. Have you heard him talk about this, John? He says, I went to a barbecue place in Phoenix whose tagline was, "You don't need teeth to eat
Oh,
our meat."
it's that tender. Okay.
That tender.
All
So
right.
was it really that tender, Charlie? He also said it was
Wow.
next to, like, a strip club.
Eat some meat and go watch them.
Yeah, right. He's like, I'm not
Well,
here for the entertainment.
where
I'm
was the
just
Korean
here.
barbecue? Where do you realize where the Korean barbecue was located? What was next to the
I
Korean barbecue?
I didn't look. I
I
don't know
almost
because,
took a picture to send it to somebody who would
oh my
crack up.
gosh.
It was called
I was
Twin Peaks. Do you know what that is?
no.
Right, it's this restaurant, and it looks like 2 mountain peaks. They, like, have white caps, and there's really supposed to be 2 women's breasts. It's a
Oh,
woman it's not a strip
kind of like
club,
kind of
but
like
it's, like,
Hooters. Do you guys
kinda
have
like
Hooters?
a nicer Hooters. Yeah, I
Okay,
accidentally went
okay.
to one here thinking it was just a regular restaurant, and I'm like,
Got you.
"Okay."
Got it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Right
No, I
next to
got
it,
it. Yeah.
yeah.
I didn't see that because I was trying to, so I was navigating. I was the navigator for my mom. She was
Oh, alright.
driving, and
Okay.
it was the exactly 24 hours before getting on my plane. So I was trying to check in, and I missed that, like, that by like 30 seconds, and then I was like at the end of the B group. I'm like, dang it. So I was busy. So
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't notice my surroundings. I was like, there's the Korean barbecue. I'm
I
hungry.
was
Let's
in
go.
Nia's car with her daughter, and she plays classical music in the car, which is just so wonderful. She's exposing her kid to all this great music, and we just had a little
That's
conversation in the car on the way over.
That's fantastic. You
Yeah,
guys, I sat next to Nia's daughter, and she was cooking the meat. She was working the grill.
she
And
was.
she's like 3 or something, right? And she was like working the grill for, like, I mean, she didn't lose concentration on it. I think she was doing that for a good 45 minutes.
She was. I saw her too. Yeah.
She was down there. She was a cute little girl. I bought her some books and sent them. They
Oh,
should
that's
get there
nice.
either today or tomorrow, because we were talking about Pete the cat, and I know you taught middle school, so you probably don't know who Pete the cat
I
is.
taught middle school. Yeah. What's that?
But I teach elementary, and even though I teach the bigger kids, I still know who Pete the cat is. And she likes Pete the cat, and so I bought her a set of
Okay.
Pete the cat books and
That's nice.
sent them to Texas for her. So
Oh, look
hopefully,
what Dave said. Hurricane season for Tampa, not the worst. That's I didn't even think of that, Dave. You're
oh,
right, because hurricanes really start ramping up in September,
dang
end of
it.
August, September. So that would, I don't know
We're gonna have to.
why they pick September. Why didn't they pick
Hmm.
June again? That's weird.
Yeah, that's frustrating. I don't know. We'll
Hopefully,
see.
hopefully they won't.
We'll see, because that makes me nervous. I can handle an earthquake.
Well,
Okay,
and
but a hurricane,
I've never handled
no.
an earthquake.
Yeah, see, it's all where you live. A hurricane
Wow.
scares
So
the
you
heck out of
felt
me.
earthquakes and seen things shaking and everything where you?
Oh yeah, yeah, multiple
Mhm.
earthquakes. Oh
Wow.
yeah, you hear them coming.
You
You
hear?
hear them. You hear them coming like a train, and then you go, "Well, here it comes," right?
Oh,
And then
that's spooky.
you kind of wait to see, like, am I going to have to go
How big is
outside?
it? Yeah.
Yeah, how big is
Wow.
it going to be? So you kind of wait for the shaking to start. Then it starts. That all happens very fast, right? But your brain can process fast. And then it shakes, and then you see if it's going to ramp up. Yeah.
Now
Hmm.
with us, we get prior warning way ahead of time with the cone. they tell you where it's going to hit, and then everybody
Right.
goes insane with the gas stations and the grocery stores buying things and buckling up their houses and everything.
Yeah.
And then if it actually hits, you lose power, and it's hot
Yeah,
and
there's
sticky.
earthquakes, there's no warning. So it
The
just
opposite,
happens. Yeah, it just happens. And
yeah.
then it's over. But yeah, like I can handle that. It doesn't bother me because I was born here, right?
Yeah, I guess
Hurricanes,
you're used
not
to
so
it.
much.
Yeah.
So anyway, at Hack Your Health, they had the speakers, and then they had where, I mean, I just feel like they didn't really organize it, but you just had like everybody kind of there and you could do stuff. Like there was the cold plunges going
Oh,
on, which I
those were
did
the
not do.
vendors. Yeah, the vendor services.
But there
Cool.
were vendors, which some of them were really cool, like
Some of them were
Pedersen's.
interesting.
Is it Pedersen's or Peterson's? The sausage and bacon
Oh,
people.
yeah, yeah, I think it was Peterson's, I'm not
Oh
sure.
my gosh,
Yeah.
Peterson's, fantastic
Getting one on
bacon.
the bacon. They had
Yes,
things to eat, they had things to do, things to see. You got your Keto Mojo tested, right?
I
Wasn't that you?
did. I
Uh, I
did. For
got
the
a
first time, my
chiropractor
ketones were
adjustment.
1.9, y'all.
There you go. That's really, you were 1.9.
1.9
That's pretty
ketones.
high.
It was pretty
What was your
high.
glucose at the
It was
moment?
99,
That's good.
but I had a good ratio. Like
You
I
had
just did the
because your
Dr. Boz
was high.
ratio.
Yeah.
And it was like in the autoimmune healing range
The
of like the
GKI,
Dr.
yeah.
Boz. Yeah. So she doesn't do a full on GKI, which I think you also have to divide by 18. You can just divide it and
Well,
then use
the
her.
meter does it for you if you have the app.
Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah.
should have asked that. Well, I
Yeah.
have a meter now, but I haven't tried it at
No.
home. They didn't have it. They just told me like
Yeah,
your
right,
glucose is 99, your ketones are 1.9. So but yeah, I was in the autoimmune healing like range of the.
Gemma did it for you. I know her, and I know the guy
Oh,
that does it. They're
well, what
really nice people.
I am lost on his name now, but the owner guy, the
Adrian,
main
is it Adrian or it's a name like that? I can't remember.
something like that, but I don't think that's it. Anyways, he agreed to come on my channel.
Oh, he's a
Like,
good guy.
yeah, he's so cool. So I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I got to practice with my meter a little bit, but he's gonna come on and like talk about that. So
Peek at his name here, see if I can find it while you're talking.
yeah. So there were tons of vendors while you're looking for that, and some of them were super sketchy.
Yeah, like nicotine.
Like Nick.
That was ridiculous.
Yes,
that was
like
so.
nicotine.
It kind of
Hack Your Health.
Yeah.
But there was like a chiropractor that they would do adjustments for you for like $30,
that, right?
which I didn't do, but I heard a lot of people enjoyed.
You got the tell people your experience with the DEXA scan. See if it was
yeah. So what I have to do, because I didn't have them interpret it for me, but I did get a couple numbers that I looked because I was interested, right? So so the DEXA scan is cool. It was only $40 to get this DEXA scan. They had multiple vans like parked in like this rectangle. So it was very fast to just get right in. In fact, we went early and they're like, yeah, we can take you in a couple minutes. So okay, cool. So we just went over there. The guy was very nice. The DEXA scan, whoever my operator guy was. It was very easy. You just kind of have to lay still. They said either eyes open or eyes closed the whole time. So I just figured it was easier to close them. So I closed them. And then he just told me like when I could move my head again, because it just starts up there. And I guess it just kind of goes
moves
down.
very slowly. They told you when not to move.
Yep. And then it doesn't take very long. It was just kind of a nice little relaxing, you just kind of lay there for a couple minutes and then it's done. And then within, I don't know, an hour or two, they email you
the results, right? Which you don't know what they mean. I went over them I got it done the first day. And then I got the email and I waited till I got back to the hotel because I was exhausted like you were. And I read through all the paragraphs and my numbers. And I'm like, okay, this compares me to everybody in my age range who do a DEXA scan. But what does that mean? So I made an appointment to meet with them like your mom did. And they spent 30 minutes just pulled up a screen that I didn't have access to. And I got to say, well, what does this mean? Well, how does this compare? And I found out my bone density is below normal for my age. I'm like, oh boy. So I have to work out harder with the heavy weights and I'm going to do some rucking. And then I found out that my visceral fat is really good. It got down really low. I lost a lot of that.
Yeah.
And I found out that my muscle mass is good and my subcutaneous fat is good. But my bone density was low. I'm like, interesting. Who'd have thought?
Charlie says his DEXA scan confirmed for my wife that he has a really thick skull. That's hilarious, Charlie. So my DEXA scan, there was one number that I cared about, and I guess I kind of care about the visceral fat, but one number that I was really worried about because I have drunk more than my fair share of diet sodas like my whole life. And so I was worried about my bone density, and it was 1.4, which is good, I guess.
Good. Yeah, you're in the good range.
Yeah, I'm in the good range. My mom wants to have another one in 6 months because she had one through her doctor because I told her about it and she asked for one and they did it, but it wasn't even as full as the one we had at Hack Your Health.
Probably just did bone density and that's it.
They did, and just her hips. Like they were just worried about her hips. So I guess in her hips, like if you just look at that hip measurement, they said you have the very slight beginnings of osteopenia, but they didn't even want to put her on medicine, which she wouldn't have taken anyway. They told her like weight bearing exercise,
right? With medicine,
and they said, you know, you're 71. What do you expect? Basically, is what they said. But then when you looked at her overall bone density from the DEXA scan, it was actually a 1. Which is still in the positive range, which is still good. So her overall bone density is good.
Right.
But she wants to have another one done. So I'm going to go with her. We're going to go together in December because that same company is like, they come to Orange County, which is like 45 minutes, you know, that way.
That's great. They come to you. They don't come to Florida at all yet.
So we're going to do it again, just as a mother-daughter outing. Go get some DEXA scans.
That's good.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm hoping she can show that a 71-year-old can increase her, you know, improve her bone density. That would be amazing.
Absolutely.
She does a lot of walking and stuff. So yeah, my bone density was good. My subcutaneous fat was 35%, John.
Women are higher than men. Women are higher than men, but that's not bad at all. I mean, you don't look it.
That's what everyone said. They're like, where is it?
Where is it?
I think it's in my booty. I think that's where it is. That's fair. So it's all good. So I want to look at the visceral fat. I didn't have a chance to look at that.
You didn't look at that yet. Okay.
No, so I didn't even open it a second time. I was like sitting upstairs, which the Wi-Fi wasn't that good. I opened it. I looked through. I'm like, I don't know what any of this means. I just really quickly like Googled the bone density because I'm like, what does a bone density of 1.4 mean? Because I don't know what that means. And I found out that was good. So
I pulled mine up now. Mine is 1.153.
Okay.
So
you're about the same as my mom.
It's a little lower than I should be. And I'm going to be 59 next month.
There you go.
Then I asked the guy, I don't know if you saw the guy that was it near him? I think it was near him. He is the big guy, was all tattooed, big muscular guy. And they were challenging people to lift these weights.
I saw that. I saw somebody doing that.
I told him my bone density was low from the DEXA scan. And he said, have you ever done, you know, I said, I do. I do lift weights on a daily basis. I'm going to increase it. But he said, try rucking. And rucking is where you wear a vest and you put heavy weights on. And I do walking every night and everything. But now I think I'll add weight. That kind of like strengthens all your bones. Because when you walk, you're kind of using everything.
Yes.
So I'm going to try to do that.
So when you get your ruck, let me know. Like, I just don't know a good brand. Like, I want to do that too. Because I walk anyway. And I'm like, if you do research and find a good one, like, let me know. Because I'm interested. I walk anyway, and I'd be interested in adding some weight, you know, sometimes. I think that would be good.
Yeah. I mean, I rucked when I was at the conference with my backpack. A water bottle that was full of water in it. And,
there you go.
I had a jacket. And it wasn't a lot of weight, but a rucking vest is in the front. If you get a real one, you get one that's in the front and the back, so it's evenly distributed.
Yes.
You don't have like lower back pain. It pulls you forward a little bit. And it makes you rebalance yourself as if it was all over your body, as if you weighed more, and you're putting more weight on all your bones and you're using your muscles a little more, and it's supposed to help. And I'm going to try that. Yeah.
Mike says, or we could move to a bigger planet with higher gravity.
With higher gravity.
Mike, we could do that too. Yes, we could do that too.
Reverse Superman.
Whichever's easiest. I love Mike Shaw. Hi, Mike Shaw. How you been?
Hi, Mike.
Good to see you.
The Mike Shaw TV.
Yeah, he's great. So we have a project, John. You want to talk about that?
Okay.
Since it was your, we're changing subjects now in case you guys are
we're going to change subjects unless you want to hear more. Are you sick of KetoCon people, especially people who didn't go, right?
They didn't go, and they're all just like, that's like,
it's like showing the slideshow of the vacation to all the relatives that didn't go on the vacations. Like, okay, enough.
And they're like, we get it. We got it.
And this is Cristie drinking her soda. And this is So, all right, how did I do this? I saw a video of a Beatles song that a guy did, and he took the words and changed it. And he was playing the guitar and singing. He was much more talented than I am. And he changed the words for carnivore. And so I just took the same words and I got my karaoke version of that Beatles song. And that was my very first one that I posted. And people loved it. And Dr. Baker saw it and he did one of his eating videos with me. Yeah, he did.
Oh my gosh.
He did.
I don't know if you told me that, but it didn't stick if you did.
Dr. Berry liked it. He commented and talked to me. It's
way.
like, it's just got this insane amount of views. I'm like over 9,000 views or something.
That's so cool.
So then I thought, okay, let me try this myself. So I copied and pasted a set of lyrics to a song that I like, that I know. And I'm like, all right, I never wrote a song. Let me just change the lyrics and every other line rhymes, and let me find words that rhyme. And I wrote it and I had the karaoke and I sang it and I made it and I posted it and people loved it. So now I do one every Wednesday.
Yep.
And I told you, and now you did one in California and I did one in Florida, and we did it together. We collaborated and I sent it to you so you could line it up with me.
Yep.
We kind of like had 3 test tries and then I blended it together and it's coming out this Wednesday.
John has mad editing skills, you guys, because I would love to sing. I love to sing. And but you can't do it in this format because of the delay and stuff. You just a duet would not be possible.
Yeah.
And so we sang it separately. And then I just sent him my audio track with no
She sent me the audio and then the video separate because I wanted the good microphone. And then I just lined them up in my program.
Yep.
So that our voices lined up perfectly. And it worked.
Yeah,
but we have to tweak the green screen a little better.
We do. Yeah. I don't have a green screen.
See how plain this is? This is green screen right here. This is green, but I changed it to teal or whatever color that is, and I put my little symbol there. And I'm going to send us something plain.
Cool.
Or you have to stand in a totally plain wall, and we'll use your wall, and then I'll just put myself in it.
I know. It'll work. I don't really have a plain wall, but we'll figure it out. But Mike is writing us a song about "You Don't Bring Me Ribeyes Anymore."
You don't bring me ribeyes. I want my delicious ribeyes. That's good. I never thought of doing that one.
So I'm excited for you guys to see it. It was super fun, and I think that we're gonna do more because we had fun. I used to be in something we were like a teacher band, and we would write parody songs about teaching and we would sing them like at school events. But the other teachers, actually could play instruments, which I cannot, but I would sing, right? And so I miss those days because all those guys retired. I'm like the last one left. Because we had a guitar player, a bass player, and a drummer, and then a guy that could do also harmonica. And he would also sing, and then
I would have had a blast with that group.
It was a whole band. Like we had so much fun, and we one time we played the kickoff day for the district. Back when things were a lot more laid back around here.
If somebody recorded all these.
I don't think so. But yeah, we would sing it like, open house, like stuff like that. And so it just made it made teaching like worth doing. It was so fun. And I miss it. And so when I saw you doing that, I was like, oh, it just brought back those days. And I'm like, I love a good song parody. I'm in.
And you had fun making it, didn't you? Didn't you have fun singing it?
Yes. Yes. It was so fun. Your voice always sounds, for me, does your voice sound different to yourself when you hear yourself?
When I first started, I've been singing for a while. When I first started singing, I'm like, you never like the sound of your own voice.
I know. Critical. And you said, don't be hard on yourself. You knew that I was going to be like, don't do it.
Don't stop and start and stop and redo it and then cut yourself. We self-edit too much. Just let it go. And I can clean things up with the program too a little bit.
It's all good. It was fun. Yeah. So we have a question. Actually, I think he's asking, oops, wrong one. I think he's asking Dave, but do you know how much weight is possible with a rucking setup? I think he's asking Dave.
Dave, tell us, because I'm new to rucking. I'm learning. I know that DC Learning to Live, David Charles in Australia, he comes on with us on Wednesday night with Larry a lot, and he rucks. And he does some videos where he rucks and he shows his vest and he's doing it. And so I'm just going to going to experiment. I'm going to investigate. I'm going to check out and see how much. I haven't done it yet. I've been kind of busy since I got back, and it's getting really hot here in South Florida. So maybe I'll wait till winter time.
It is getting hot here too, but we're not Florida, so I can go out
You're
in the
desert
morning.
hot, right?
Yeah, we're desert hot. So if I go out in the morning, like I'll tell you, so like this morning, it won't let me go back. Hold on.
You guys had some
the low is like 56. The low is like 56.
Oh my gosh.
So I can go out in the morning at sunrise and it's still like in the 50s and 60s.
Crisp.
And then it heats up. Like today was 86 and it'll be 91 by Wednesday.
But dry.
But it's dry. But I'm still not walking at 91. No, I'll go out at sunrise. I'm perfectly happy to do that. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, here in South Florida in the summer, we get up and it's almost 90.
Yeah, no.
With
and it's humid.
70% humidity. And then it gets up to 95, 96 with 85% humidity. And our rainy season just kicked in late, actually, and it's disgusting out. It's
it just sounds.
Yeah, but most of the year, this is paradise. It's everybody comes to Florida.
Yeah,
from like November all the way through May, and then it gets icky.
And then it gets icky. So Ellie was asking. I mean, she did say LOL, but she's asking if a DEXA scan is faster than an MRI. So I don't think I've ever had an MRI.
Well, it depends what your MRI is doing. I've had an MRI and that was kind of fast. DEXA scan took a little while. It had to go from your head and it scanned
all the way down
to and then when it got to your feet, they told you to point your toes up and don't move them. And it took a while. It took 15 minutes, I think.
Did it?
From head to toe. They told me it was.
I mean, I must have fallen asleep. Or I was just enjoying.
I think it was a good fit because we were talking after I was allowed to.
Yes,
talk when it finished
that's
neck
true.
and
He
head.
told me when I could start talking. And we were talking.
So I think it takes longer than an MRI.
Interesting.
Yeah. And here's the deal. I asked. I said, if we're scanning the entire body, is this a lot of radiation? I don't want all this radiation. And this is what they quoted. They said, number one, it takes as much radiation as in 3 bananas. I didn't know there was radiation in bananas. And when you fly in an airplane, you get more radiation than I got in this scan.
And we flew to an airplane to get there. So we'd already gotten and back. Yeah.
And I said, is the same amount of radiation as when I get an x-ray of a tooth? He said, way less than 1 x-ray in a tooth.
Wow. So, and they make me do that every 6 months.
X-rays. I go to the dentist every 6 months for a cleaning.
Yes.
Which they don't really find much tartar at all because I don't have sugar anymore.
Correct.
And but I used to have severe gum recession. So and I have a lot of dental work and crowns that I want them to clean up in there. But they are impressed with my teeth since I became carnivore because they really can't find much to do. So I do get my x-rays once a year and I get a cleaning twice a year. Although they want me to come 4 times a year and I have to say, okay, and then I cancel them because they just want my business. It's crazy.
Yeah. I think I might just, because every time I'm there, they're like, why are you here? There's nothing for us to do.
Oh, I want your dentist. Mine wants me to.
And then they,
yeah.
And then I'm like, man, so I just might just make an appointment once a year. I don't think I think they'll be okay with that. I don't know. I'll ask them.
Now, if you ate the standard world diet with lots of carbs and sugar and only brushed your teeth once or twice a day, you'd need to go to the dentist more.
Yeah. And I will tell you that I had to work a lot harder at it. So they've always told me that I have nice teeth, but I used to have to work really hard and like floss a lot and brush a lot. And now it's like, if I only brush my teeth once in a day, it's still good. Like there's nothing on it.
I use a water pick.
Water pick.
All the meat that we eat, the meat gets stuck in
the
teeth.
Meat gets stuck in there.
Water
so
pick is fantastic. And I floss.
Yeah. So Susie was like, introvert, alone time in the DEXA machine. Yep, that's how you do it, Susie, when you're in a room full of hundreds of people that you don't know and you're an introvert.
Some of the vendors where you got to lie down and they put a blanket on top of you and they flash this light in your eyes. I don't know if you saw that one.
I didn't do it, but I did see it.
There were a couple of other things. I lay in the infrared bed. It looked like a tanning bed. I chose those so I could get off my feet and relax.
Right.
To be honest with you.
I'm jealous. I didn't know there was an infrared thing.
There was one. You went into this black booth and you took off all your clothes and put on a robe.
Huh.
And then you put the robe on like a hospital gown, like you go into it in the front, and then you get into the bed and you pull it down like a tanning bed. Then you take the robe off and you're completely naked. And I'm like, make sure nobody pulls this thing up on me because everybody at Hack Your Health is going to see me in there. And so I was in there for 15 minutes, infrared. And then when I was ready to get on, I put my inside. It was pretty roomy in there. I put my robe back on, and I lifted it up myself and got out and got back in my clothes. And I don't know if I slept any better. I don't know if it did anything, but there's a science behind it and circadian rhythm and everything. It's supposed to be very good for you.
Mike Shaw says it's the guinea pig conference. Yeah, there was stuff like for your brain. I was like, stay out of my brain. My brain's
there was
fine.
Some really crazy stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see the booth? And I took information for it. I mean, I heard about it. Dave Feldman. Was it Dave Feldman's booth? I think. Or the other guy. I can't think of his name. And it was your Own Your Own Labs.
I didn't know that. I missed
it was
so
there.
much stuff.
It was all the way on the other side.
I'm a lean mass hyperresponder. If anyone should have gone to that booth, it should have been me.
I have Dave the pamphlet Feldman if you want a copy of it. Is it Dave Feldman or the other guy? Who's the other guy?
Nick Norwitz?
Not Nick. The other. I think it's Dave Feldman then. Dave Feldman's the lean mass hyperresponder guy, but there's another guy. It's on the tip of my tongue. But
Rivero was there.
No, Rivero's Dr. Baker.
I did not see the.
But anyway, I have the pamphlet. I can scan it and send it to you if you want. And it's like a a la carte thing. You pick and choose which labs you want.
No, I've used them.
Yeah, and then they send you like the same as a prescription from a doctor, and then you have to go to a lab.
Yep.
I thought you pricked your own in the house and put it in.
Oh, yeah. No, you
have to go to a lab.
Yeah, I've used them. It was when I wanted to get my particle density size tested, just so I could say, my LDL is way up there over 400, but they're big. They're all big, fluffy.
So your LDL's over 400, is it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm up there too.
Yeah,
I'm up in the 300s, but my HDL is almost 90. My triglycerides are way down, and my HbA1c is like 5.3. So, and did you do a CAC scan?
No, that's going to be my next move. I actually did try calling that doctor, you guys, that I kept saying there's a low carb doctor like 9 miles from my house.
Oh,
I called twice and nobody picked up the phone over there. So that's a little concerning.
Do you have a regular doc that you go to?
Yeah, but she thinks I'm going to die. She thinks... So when I got my blood test back, she doesn't know what a lean mass hyperresponder is. She just flat out said, this is the highest LDL I've ever seen. She wanted to put me on a statin or for me to change my diet. I didn't tell her I was going to change my diet. I just said, I'll handle this with diet is what I said. And then lo and behold, three months went by and I get a call from her, like, I don't know, nurse or something. It's time for your blood test. I'm like, what blood test? The one doctor wanted you to have in 3 months. I'm like, well, I knew nothing about that. So I just never went because I'm like, I didn't change my diet.
Ask her for a CAC score and say, I want to see what my score is. And she'll argue with you and say, I want a coronary artery calcium score. Your insurance won't pay for it. You pay for it. It's about $120. And I learned it was such peace of mind. Mine was a zero. At my age, it's a zero, which is fantastic.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And so then you use that with your doctor and say, my CAC score is 0. Yes, my LDL is 400. But look at, and then teach her. This is this number, this number, this number, this number, and this number. And if she still argues with you, you find another doctor or just let her give you the statin, let her write it in there that she gave it to you.
Yeah. And just don't take it. So what was frustrating to me was my thyroid, I have a fly. My thyroid numbers were wonky. Like, and she didn't test everything. Like she didn't test for like Hashimoto's and whatever. And she didn't test the T3, but like she tested the TSH and the T4. I just asked her for a full thyroid panel.
Yeah.
And she did it, but she didn't. She just did the TSH and the T4. And my TSH was pretty like elevated, which means like my brain is working hard to try to get my thyroid to do something and it doesn't want to do it. And so that's hypothyroid. And but I don't know if it's Hashimoto's or something else. She wouldn't even talk to me about that. I was like, I am not concerned with my LDL. I'm concerned with this thyroid though. Can we look into that? And she just wouldn't. And so that's when I'm like, that's when I was like,
you're the boss. You are the boss. They should do it.
She just wouldn't talk about it. She was like, she was like, but your LDL. And I was like, I don't care about that.
They're trained to do that. They're also, they also get audited. They have to say that they talked to you about it and wrote it in. The patient refused, so they don't get audited and possibly, I don't know, in trouble.
So I will try calling again to this other doctor. I just want to find out if she's taking new patients.
Yeah, you need
she did come up on Diet Doctor as a low carb doctor. And when you read her page, she says, I've been an advocate for low carb and very low carb diets. I'm like, oh, is that carnivore? And she said, for a number of years, I've seen the benefits, blah, 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 like in her little blurb. So I'm like, I want to go see this lady. She's only 9 miles away from me.
That's great.
But I called her office twice on Thursday and nobody picked up the phone.
All
so
right,
I was
call.
like,
Maybe that's the one day they're closed.
maybe.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try calling again tomorrow.
Definitely.
See if I can get through. And yeah, I'm working on it. I feel so good, but I know I need to have a doctor that I can, work with, and just in case.
Yeah, that's important. The doctor I have, it was the luck of the draw. He's really fit. He's young. He looks at my numbers and he almost says, "Oh, it's like a competition. Oh, your number's better than my number here, and my number's better than." And then he says, "All right, we had this talk last year, and your cholesterol is way up there. I think you need to be on a statin. Are you going to reject it?" I said, "Yes." He goes, "All right, I have to write down that I offered." And that's the last time he talks about it. Like, he knows, because I said, and I actually bring in the, there's a lab book that Dr. Ken Berry and Kim Howerton wrote.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I can't think of the title, but I know what you're talking about.
I have it. And I brought it in with the pages marked and with things circled. And we sat down and had a discussion with the lab book. I said, I want this test. I want this test. I want the standard metabolic test, but I want advanced. And he ordered everything I wanted, and the CAC score. And yes, insurance covers some of it and doesn't cover some of it, and you work with that on your own. But when you have a doctor that cooperates with you, it's wonderful. So I hope you find this lady works for you. It really makes a big difference. It does.
Yeah, I'm hoping so, because she just really did. And I asked for her to test my hormones and she refused. I'm like, but I'm 48. And she said, but you're not having hot flashes. I'm like, but I want them tested so I have a baseline. I want to know what's going on. Well, you're not having hot flashes.
Is she kind of like rude or disrespectful, or is she like?
No, I would say no, but no attitude, but that was before my numbers came back. So this was during the appointment. Once my numbers came back, she just kept leaving these messages on my phone at like 8 a.m. She knows I'm a teacher, but she would call at 8 a.m. and she would leave these messages on my phone, and she sounded very, very concerned on those messages. But this was talking to me. There it is, Susie. Yes, Common Sense Labs.
Yeah. I hope you find another doctor.
Yeah. So I'm working on it. I just haven't done it as quickly. That's why I had to say I finally did call everybody, because I've been telling everybody this for like 6 months. Like, I'm going to call and try to get this other doctor. And yeah, I finally did try to call, but I'll have to call back and hopefully they pick up. So anyway. Well, John, we've been at this for over an hour.
I know. I looked at the clock a second ago. I'm like, how could that be an hour?
Like,
we track your health and we talked about everything.
I know. So many people have hung in there with us. So I just want to thank everybody in chat land that was making this so much fun by chatting with us and checking out my slideshow. And hey, maybe some live in the future, John, we can see your pictures.
Yeah,
sorry that didn't work out today, but everybody check out on Wednesday. John will have posted our
duet.
Yes.
Now, what I want to try to do in the future is either do some harmony for certain parts, or I sing a part, you sing a part where we're not singing together. And I don't know how we can coordinate that from a distance. Like if you'd have to just stand there while I'm doing my part. So we should figure that out.
We will figure it out ahead of time. You can just mark it off and we'll do it.
We'll figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah. So
all
right. Well, thanks everyone. And we'll see you hopefully tomorrow for Lioness Lifestyle Live.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Take care.